The wealthiest church. If you were to ask, which European country is the wealthiest, the answer would undoubtedly be Germany. 1. Economy. Germany is the largest economy in Europe, with a robust industrial base, particularly prominent in automobile manufacturing, machinery production, and the chemical industry. 2. Military. Although its military budget is relatively low, Germany plays a significant role within NATO. 3. Politics. As a major member of the European Union, Germany wields substantial influence in European affairs. Now, if you were to inquire about the wealthiest church in the world, the answer would still be Germany. This is due to several factors. 1. High religious taxes. Churchgoers pay a substantial religious tax, ranging from 8% to 9%. 2. Vast church properties. The church owns an immense amount of real estate, including land, properties, schools, hospitals, nursing homes, and various investments. These holdings include shares in banks, publishing houses, and other enterprises. 3. Individual donations, legacies, and foundation support. Historically, the accumulation of wealth by the German church spans multiple periods, dating back to the Middle Ages and even earlier. Here are some key sources and pivotal moments. Medieval land and taxes. 1. Land donations. During the Middle Ages, nobles and royalty frequently donated large tracts of land to the church to ensure the redemption of their souls. These donations included not only farmland and pastures but entire villages and towns. 2. Taxes and rent. The church-owned lands required cultivation and management, leading farmers and citizens to pay rent and taxes. This stable income source contributed significantly to the church's wealth. 3. Monasteries and monks. Monasteries were vital economic centers during the Middle Ages. Monks engaged not only in religious activities but also in agriculture, handicrafts, and trade, amassing substantial wealth. Religious influence and donations. 1. Indulgences. In the late Middle Ages, indulgences became a significant source of church income. Believers purchased indulgences to lessen their sins and secure redemption for their souls. This practice sparked Martin Luther's religious reform in 1517. 2. Legacies and donations. Many affluent believers bequeathed their estates to the church before their deaths, hoping for salvation. Consequently, the church accumulated substantial wealth. Secular support. 1. Holy Roman Empire. As part of the Holy Roman Empire, many German church institutions received support from emperors. The fusion of church and state power granted the church influence not only in religious matters but also in politics and economics. 2. Bishops and nobility. Some church leaders themselves belonged to the secular nobility. Archbishops of cities like Cologne, Trier, and Mainz wielded authority not only in religious affairs but also in local governance. Modern church properties. 1. Secularization and reorganization. During the Napoleonic era, much of the church's property was confiscated and secularized. However, the church adapted and restructured, retaining substantial wealth. 2. Contemporary management. In modern times, the church manages its wealth more efficiently through investments and business operations, maintaining its economic strength. Specific examples. 1. Fulda Abbey. As a significant Benedictine monastery, Fulda Abbey accumulated extensive land and wealth during the Middle Ages, playing a crucial role in religious and cultural life. 2. Augustinian Monastery. Similarly, the Augustinian monastery amassed wealth through land management and knowledge dissemination. The church's wealth extends beyond material possessions. It has profoundly influenced society through art, education, and charitable endeavors. German churches have funded numerous architectural projects, artworks, and academic research, leaving a lasting cultural legacy. In the present day, German churches find themselves in a position of having substantial resources yet needing to allocate them wisely. Consequently, German churches are often spacious, clean, and well-maintained. As the saying goes, without comparison, there is no judgment. Without comparison, there is no harm. Germans often ponder whether there are additional ways to invest in their churches. Consequently, they explore potential areas for improvement. Here are a few examples. 1. Flooring transformation. Pristine ceramic tile floors have been replaced with solid wood. The rationale: during winter, tile floors can feel chilly underfoot. 2. Invisible heating systems. The ideal wall-mounted heating systems have been embedded within concrete floors. These underfloor heating and cooling systems operate silently, without color or odor, ensuring even temperature distribution. The only drawback is that they require slightly more time and money for preheating or cooling. 3. Golden splendor. Instead of using varnish mixed with gold dust for the opulent effect in churches, Germans opt for genuine gold leaf. Gold leaf is thinner than paper, measuring 5 to 6 centimeters square. It is delicately applied using specialized tweezers, adhering directly to sculptures through static electricity, without glue or welding. Historically, Germany was part of the Holy Roman Empire, and religious culture was deeply ingrained. Almost every place frequented by people had a church or monastery. These structures span various architectural styles, including Gothic, Byzantine, Romanesque, and Baroque, each with its unique charm. Regrettably, after 2 world wars, many people distanced themselves from religion due to war trauma and waning faith. Few were willing to dedicate their lives to church service. As a result, Germany averages only 1 clergy member for every 3 churches. The titles vary based on religious denomination, Catholic priests and Protestant pastors. Perhaps, after the eventual unification of these 2 branches, a neutral term like clergy will prevail. Given the severe shortage of clergy, church authorities have implemented reforms. Lay deacons, after training and assessment, are granted limited priestly functions, primarily overseeing local religious activities. Despite being part-time, deacons receive compensation. Religious belief in Germany remains intertwined with national culture. Official statistics may not accurately reflect mainstream religious adherence. While reports indicate 27% Catholic and 23% Protestant populations, Germans privately claim that both groups constitute 45% of the total population. Many register their religion without active participation, seeking a permanent resting place for their physical remains. However, I find this perspective questionable. Modern society emphasizes personal achievement. Children from religious families frequently attend church with elders, but adulthood brings intense competition in education and employment, leading to faith erosion. Yet, in old age or during crises, some return to faith, even becoming devout or fervent adherents. Today, Catholicism and Protestantism in Germany share a sibling-like relationship. When constructing a church, they often stand side by side. They invite each other to events, and official recognition allows their congregants to participate in each other's priestly activities, receiving equal grace. Germany, once a hotbed of church division, now holds the potential for future unity. While the concept of church unification is widely accepted, the opportune moment remains elusive. It is up to the Germans themselves to seek and create that opportunity. Missing it could allow others to claim the label of unity. In practice, unity need not be complex. Spiritual reconciliation alongside maintaining existing structures could suffice, becoming a widely acknowledged faction. Post-merger, the increased population and complexity would necessitate reinforcing hierarchical systems. Similar to military ranks, these systems would define authority and command. In the military, the rank system is extremely strict and clear. Especially outside of the official structure, it holds special significance. For example, during wartime, when the official structure is disrupted, temporary groups naturally fall under the command of the highest-ranking officer. If there is an overlap in the highest ranks, they are compared based on their equivalent sequence number. For instance, if there are 2 lieutenants serving as platoon leaders, the first lieutenant ranks higher than the second lieutenant, and the second lieutenant ranks higher than the third lieutenant. Regarding the perception of military ranks, history has even witnessed some humorous incidents. On October 9, 1911, the planned Wuchang uprising of the Chinese Shanghai Revolution was prematurely exposed due to an accidental bomb explosion. Consequently, on the evening of October 10th, the Revolutionary Party members of the Hubei New Army launched the uprising in Wuchang. The rebel forces swiftly seized the arsenal and the city walls of Wuchang. Soon after, they gained control of the entire city, declared Hubei province's independence, and established the Hubei military government of the Republic of China. Other provinces followed suit, resulting in 15 provinces declaring independence in a short period, effectively overthrowing Qing dynasty rule. Since the uprising was spontaneous and lacked a high-ranking military officer to lead, the rebels decided to capture an anti-revolutionary senior official, Li Yuanhong, and forced him at gunpoint to become the commander of the rebel forces. Initially, Li Yuanhong was reluctant, but as the uprising progressed unexpectedly smoothly, he gradually embraced his role. Remarkably, Li Yuanhong later served as the president of the Republic of China on 2 occasions. The concept of rank was already in practice within the church. Therefore, since rank and dignity are equivalent, they were naturally integrated into church management. The wealth of the German church was also evident in its generosity. For instance, they attended the consecration ceremony of Adolf Koppen, a German individual, which took place in Rome, the capital of Italy. Over the course of a week, the church authorities classified it as a pilgrimage. This event occurred in the early 1990s. To facilitate this, West Germany arranged for special trains. Church consecrations are meticulously evaluated by specialized institutions. The person being consecrated must meet the following criteria. 1. They must have performed miracles. 2. Numerous witnesses must attest to their actions. 3. Their history must span over 100 years. As a result, this consecration ceremony had to be exceptionally solemn and grand. Hospitable German friends even included me in their list. The train journey consisted entirely of sleeper cars. Starting from the northernmost city of Hamburg, we traveled southward, continuously picking up passengers along the way. We crossed the beautiful Swiss Alps and passed through Milan, Italy, before finally arriving at Rome's central train station. By this time, our tour guide and bus were already waiting. Our tour group was particularly fortunate to have been assigned a guide named Lydia, a remarkably attractive German student studying in Italy. She was undoubtedly an angel who had temporarily folded her wings. I wondered about her field of study, perhaps tourism, given her professional performance as a guide. However, my speculation was eventually disproven. Lydia talked so much that her voice became hoarse within a few days. Lydia's explanations were clear and witty, often leaving us in fits of laughter. If anyone didn't laugh, she would specifically revisit the key points. I was one of those individuals who received special attention. Our accommodation was a local monastery, which was no different from a typical hotel. Each person or family was assigned a room with all amenities, including bathrooms and showers. Unfortunately, until the end of the event, I never clarified whether it was a male or female monastery or which religious order it belonged to. Germans have a customary habit when traveling. Upon reaching their destination, they first seek out a post office to send postcards to family and friends, describing their arrival and the local tourist atmosphere. Each day's activities were prearranged, purely reflecting the nature of a tourist group. Rome, as the core of the Renaissance period, boasts an incredibly rich and brilliant cultural heritage. Moreover, having escaped direct destruction during both world wars, it stands as a living testament to history. However, a week of sightseeing was woefully insufficient, as each landmark had stories more extensive than a train journey. For example, visiting the Vatican museums. Here, you'll find many world-famous paintings and sculptures. To truly appreciate each work, it would take 3 days. However, our tour group only allocated half a day for this. The challenge is that what the guide considers essential might not necessarily align with my interests. Conversely, what I find fascinating, the guide might overlook. So, I'll have to hope for a future visit with my family to explore freely. The inspiring experience comes when you visit the Grand St. Peter's Basilica. I've seen it on TV and in photos before, but being there in person is an entirely different sensation of profound impact. Consider the following. 1. The grandeur of the church can only be felt when you're physically present. 2. The sculpture of the Virgin Mary holding Jesus is carved from a single, exceptionally high-quality jade stone. It's an invaluable treasure. I wonder how many hands have touched it. Some parts are already worn smooth. 3. The large oil paintings inside the church are not actually oil paintings but mosaics made from colored stones. Over centuries, traditional oil paintings would have cracked, curled, or faded. For the immense interior space of the church defies imagination. It's truly a marvel in human architectural history. 5. The intricate carvings, paintings, and stories throughout the church are countless and resplendent. 6. Even the underground passages, designed to house the remains of various popes, are breathtaking in scale and craftsmanship. 7. Climbing to the dome requires an early start and patience in the queue. Unfortunately, most of our tour companions were elderly, and many had been to the top before, leaving me with a lasting regret. The final day held the most solemn moment, the consecration ceremony. St. Peter's Basilica was adorned with lights and filled with people. Everyone inside was part of a German pilgrimage group. Luckily, my position was near the front, seemingly just a stone's throw from the Pope. With a basic camera, I captured ideal photos. The ceremony, perhaps due to language barriers, was brief. Aside from the host and the Pope's voices, the rest was the rhythmic chant of the pilgrims, rising and falling like waves. Alleluia, 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 Alleluia. After the ceremony, many lingered, taking more photos. The return train journey was both solemn and lively. Crossing the Alps and entering Germany, the Alleluia chants continued. At each station, passengers opened their windows, joining the chorus. I wondered if someone's voice would give out from singing all the way. Perhaps they'd need to see a doctor after disembarking. Germans preferred taking negative slides rather than regular photos. After developing them, they'd use slide projectors for presentations. Indeed, a week later, at a Bible study meeting, someone presented slides while narrating stories and answering questions. Travel remains an eternal and popular topic in Germany. It avoids sensitive subjects like politics, ethnicity, and religion. Pilgrimages hold the same significance as Bible study meetings. Some religious vacationers specifically choose pilgrimage destinations. It seems wealth allows for whims. My German friend's house appeared ordinary from the outside, but inside, it was adorned with natural marble and high-quality wood, elegant and refined. I jokingly called it a palace, and my friend accepted the title with a smile. Germans are aware of their affluence. Even children say that selling one Mercedes-Benz could buy a boatload of potatoes. No wonder I hesitate to peel potatoes while Germans use knives to peel them, skin and all, losing a small portion of weight. I sometimes wonder if German life is too comfortable. As the saying goes, when well-fed, one thinks of lust. And indeed, Germany has red light districts in almost every city, with unlicensed brothels operating openly. Late-night TV broadcasts often include adult content. Only after leaving Germany did I discover that my second home, a small town with a population of 20,000, even had a large adult film studio and for breweries. Perhaps some locals distance themselves from religion due to these secular temptations. In such an environment, maintaining purity and avoiding contamination would require saintly genes. So, I candidly admit that I fall short in my foundation speeches. The foundation is the scholarship awarding unit for me. Every year, it holds a one-week seminar in a different location, and scholarship recipients are required to attend. Former scholars may also be invited to attend voluntarily, and money is not an issue in Germany anyway. The scholarships are awarded to young scholars from third world countries who have achieved something. Their religion, sect, or belief status doesn't matter. However, my remarks often attract attention, so I receive invitations for each seminar. The wealth of Germans directly influences their cultural tradition, which involves establishing museums everywhere. Small towns have small museums, large cities have large museums, and the capital has a large cluster of museums. Berlin has a place called Museum Island, which houses 5 famous large museums. These museums contain many well-known paintings and sculptures that we are familiar with. However, even so, visitors are not as numerous as a bustling market. So, it seems that Germans must be operating at a loss. Well, wealthy people can be quite whimsical. When I first arrived in Germany, I was reluctant to spend money on transportation. Of course, public buses weren't very reliable either. So, a kind-hearted German friend gave me an old bicycle. Little did I know, a fellow student in my dormitory wanted to exchange it for a bike that was 80% new. I was puzzled, but then they added that they would also give me some cash. This made me even more curious. They explained that my old bicycle, although worn out, was a brand name item with collectible value. So, I readily agreed. I thought to myself, wealthy people are indeed whimsical. Whimsicality might be a characteristic unique to the wealthy. However, even whimsy must have limits. To have limits, there must be constraints. In any case, the only thing that can comprehensively constrain German whimsy is likely religion. According to the statistics mentioned earlier, only half of the total population can be restrained by religion. Therefore, it's reasonable to believe that this half of the German faithful may have some saintly genes. This aligns with the saying,
troublemakers come from poor and remote areas, wealth and nobility nurture the wise and virtuous.